Sorry. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of the Community Development Scrutiny Committee. My name is Councillor Diana Garrett and I'm the Chairman. Members, please can I remind you that this meeting is being webcast. Members, there is no fire alarm test this evening. Should the fire alarm sound, members, we will vacate the chamber via the fire exit to the rear and assemble in the car park. As we move through the meeting, please can I remind everyone present to turn off their microphones when they're finished speaking. I shall now proceed with the business of the meeting. Agenda item 1, apologies for absence. We've had one apology from Councillor Mr Wright, which is noted.
Mrs Chairman, we've had no further apologies through to the Governance Service. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will then proceed to agenda item 2, declarations of interest. Do members have any disclosable pecuniary interest, other pecuniary interest or non-pecuniary interest that they wish to declare this evening? Please state the item and the nature of your interest. Jolly good, thank you. Agenda item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. I take it you've all read the previous the minutes. Please can I have a proposer to approve the minutes as an accurate record of the previous meeting of the Community Development Scrutiny Committee held on the 27th of October 2021. Thank you, Councillor Hensman. And a seconder? Councillor Mrs Weeks. Thank you. I will just sign the minutes then, if you'll just give me a moment. Thank you, Emma. The minutes have now been moved and seconded as an accurate record. All of those in favour, please indicate. Sorry, I shouldn't sign those beforehand, but have done so. Thank you very much, because you all put your hands up anyway, but thank you very much. Agenda item 4, public question time. Members, I can confirm that there are no registered speakers for this evening's meeting. Members, we now proceed with agenda item 5, the scrutiny review into cycling and walking in the Braintree district, the draft report. Members, this report is set out on pages 5 to 25 of the agenda. As chairman of the committee, I will introduce the report and read out the recommendations. Right. The Community Development Scrutiny Committee is asked to review the draft report and to finalise the content and draft recommendations to ensure that they are in keeping with the terms of reference of the scrutiny review and the evidence gathered. And secondly, to authorise the chairman to finalise the draft report prior to its submission to full council and to give authority to governance officers to make any necessary administrative changes to the report. Now, I have sent round something very late this afternoon, and I do apologise for that, but I'd only just received a response from Essex County Council with regards to an inquiry I'd made, and it was relating to the Essex Rights of Way Improvement Plan, which is a statutory document that should be improved or updated every 10 years. I found that the document was dated in 2009 and therefore sought to find out if there were any more recent documents, and I believe that it is in fact going to be under review shortly, although I couldn't find anything in any of the minutes that I looked at. So I have sent through this document, and I believe that the governance team have left you with a copy. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to have a read through it, but could I have your comments on whether you feel that this could be included, and also to discuss and open up a discussion with regards to the report in its current state. Does anybody have any comments to make on this? No? Have you all had an opportunity to read through the report, and what were your thoughts on it?
Good.
Did you think it was comprehensive and covered all of the...
Yes, Madam Chairman. I thought it was very comprehensive and a lot to take in. I read it some time ago, and I think everybody's done a good enough job on it, and probably as far as we can manage to go, really, at this time. We'll wait and see what the cycle paths bring up and what the rights of way improvement plan brings up, and basically see how it all works. Because until it's all in situ and happening, we can't make any further recommendations. If we find that something needs to be altered, we can't find it until we've already had experience. So I think as far as we can go on paper, we've gone.
Thank you, Councillor Kilmartin. Councillor Hensman, have you had a look at the improvement plan document, and what were your thoughts on that being included? Are you happy for that to be included in the report?
Yes, Madam Chairman, pretty much. As a scrutiny, we can put a recommendation onto the County Council, I believe, and it's a case of I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt with the COVID pandemic and so on, and then I thought, no, hang on a minute, this would run out in 2019, and therefore they should have been working on it 17, 18-ish to get it ready to go from 19 to 29. So it's almost like counties taking the eye off the ball, and I'd kind of like to see a strong message go to county and say, can you please give this a bit more attention than you have been, especially with the Green Agenda.
Thank you. Yes, I feel that public rights of way are incredibly important, or have become more so important during the last couple of years. People are getting outside and walking a lot more. And yeah, I agree. Councillor Kilmartin.
Thank you. I was just going to say, the public rights of way all keep very quiet until they're not. If they get overgrown, or if a farmer puts some kind of obstacle up, then the walkers and the ramblers all have something to say very quickly, and there's nothing you can do until such a situation does arise. But it is wonderful to see the little signs that say public right of way, and that you can actually walk along it. You can take your dog or whatever animal you've got and your friends and relatives and enjoy views of the countryside that you wouldn't normally do from a car. And obviously a bicycle either, because you don't cycle along a public right of way unless it's a designated cycle path too. And so I feel that we've got both the pedestrians and the cyclists as well catered for as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I may just draw members back to your terms of reference, one of the elements that you were looking at was what are the perceived barriers, and I think a theme of your research and scrutiny review is how information is presented and how accessible that information is available to the communities who walk, cycle, whether it's for leisure or for commuting activity. The Rights of Way network, as you've discovered through your scrutiny review, link the highways, arterials, the infrastructure of the established urban areas with the rural areas. So if it is your findings that, as a flow from looking at what are the barriers, you've looked at a number of documents where you see what information is in the public domain, how the public can find out where they can ride, cycle, horse ride, as a leisure or commuting activity. It would follow that you would also look at the improvement plans, because the improvement plans would identify those areas where there are issues, and that may determine somebody's commuting route or leisure route. So it does fall within your terms of reference to sort of to include this. Yes. Although the improvement plan hasn't been specifically mentioned in the evidence gathering sessions, it has been nodded to through the other comments from the highways, the planners, etc. So as a comprehensive set of documents that you've looked at of information in the public domain, I feel that it's not inappropriate to include a reference to it if your concern is that this is an out-of-date document which would help to inform the public in how it can use the Rights of Way network as part of day-to-day community walking and leisure, and how that then connects with the greater highway network.
Thank you, Emma. That was it's very kind of you to explain that in more detail. I did find that other documents were out of date, but they were all associated with that improvement plan, and that was the Public Rights of Way Enforcement Concordat and the Landowners and Farmers Guide to Public Rights of Way. So the Concordat, the Enforcement Concordat, was published in July 2009, and the Landowner and Farmers Guide to Public Rights of Way was October 2011. They were all sort of grouped together on the website, so I looked at all of them. And also the Essex County Council's Development and Public Rights of Way Advice Note for Developers and Development Management Officers was published in January 2010. So I had put all of that in, and we may or may not comment on all of those documents, but I think the improvement plan is probably the most important. So really I just wanted to know that A, you are happy with the report as it has been presented to you, and B, if you are happy for this to be included roughly in a similar way that I've presented it to you this evening. I think that governance officers will probably tweak it and put it in a slightly better format and maybe reduce it down a little bit. But in principle, I wanted to know that you were all happy for that to be included. So, are there any other comments that anybody would like to make? Councillor Hensman.
If I may give a recent example in where we had real partnership working within the community, where public rights of way you often think about are in the countryside and the code, the country code and so on, shut your gates and farmers are barriers, but we also have them in town centres. And last week and the week before, we had Essex County Council's Public Right of Way officer, Ned Gemmell, come out and see us. And we then put together a plan for footpath 78, which goes along the back of Manor Street. We're now calling it the Blue Light Trail because effectively it goes from the police station to the fire station.
Right.
And it was extremely overgrown, litter dating back at least 10 or 12 years from sell-by dates and receipts and so on, and nobody had loved it. So what they did was they got the Braintree East group and the Manor community groups came out, litter picked it, so that Essex County then came out the next day, cut back all the vegetation, and then our own street scene then came out and swept it and took all the rubbish away. And now the path is looking up and running.
That's
absolutely.
Excellent news.
So it's and it's a case of now it's on street scene's radar to keep it clear so that people will be able to use it, because it's also where the local thieves from the supermarkets will take their tagged items and try and smash the tags off because they're hidden in the undergrowth, whereas now that's all cut back. So it's that was a win-win all round, and that was good partnership. So we've now got the contact with both county and district working together to maintain that, and going forward the community group will litter pick it regularly and organise for the collection with street scene, as well as cutting back and maintaining the vegetation, because county's now got it to a level that it can be kept.
That's wonderful news.
I thought
Excellent
perhaps
work.
a positive example from the town. We've got plenty of pictures and so on, whether that's worth including or not, or just to expand on the fact that paths aren't just in the countryside. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Hensman. Right. I don't think anybody else has anything else to say on this, do they? Councillor Kilmartin.
If I may, Madam Chairman. Just to say that recommendation 7 is something I had a bit of an access to, and I'm really pleased to see that we've put in the ideas of cycle training and confidence courses.
Yes.
Quite how they deal with something like the weather tonight on a bike, I'm not sure. But at least we've got in there that we recognise that some people might want a little bit of a push-shove start, as it were. And I certainly would. And I'm still looking for my confidence training so that I stop wobbling.
Thank you very much. It's very nice to hear. Thank you, Councillor Kilmartin. Right, so I think what I would like is for somebody to move and second these recommendations, but with this, the document, the additional document relating primarily to the Essex Rights of Way Improvement Plan, included in some format. If you're happy to do that, could I please have a proposer and a seconder? Councillor Kilmartin to propose and Councillor Miss Weeks to second. Thank you very much. So, members, the recommendations have been moved and seconded. I'll now proceed to the vote. All members in favour, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. That's everyone. So, members, thank you. The recommendations are approved. So I will now proceed to item number 6 on the agenda, urgent business. But I'm not aware of any urgent business this evening for this evening's meeting.
I don't know whether this counts, and I'm sure Emma will say. Whitton Town Council is still in the middle of its cycle plan, and we are having lots of discussions on it because of the pinch point on the railway bridge. So just to let you know that.
Thank you very much. So, members, if there is nothing else, I will, and there is no urgent business, this item concludes our business for this evening. I will therefore close the meeting of the Community Development Scrutiny Committee at 19:34. Thank you, members, for your attendance this evening and for coming out in this wet and windy weather, and to those watching the broadcast via the Council's YouTube channel. And good night, everyone.